What's up, peeps? We're back. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benson. Thank you so much for joining us for our YouTube edition of the AEW Insider. Let's get to the show. Le Champion, Chris Jericho, has done a few interviews in the last week. Let's cover some of the stuff that he spoke about. He did reveal why he never joined the NWO. He said at the time he was asked, the faction was already way too crowded. He also said if it's going to be the first time you're going to ever be in a faction, there needs to be a reason for that. I don't play well with others. I remember back in '98, one of the suggestions was for me to be in the NWO. I was like, absolutely not. There's 15 guys in the NWO. They don't need me, and I don't need them. For the inner circle, it enhances my character, our storylines, and gave 5 very talented individuals a much bigger platform and got them over to a much bigger degree as well. He also talked about how AEW has benefited from Cody being on the independent circuit and essentially scouting talent. I think it's cool that another one of the kind of really cool things that led to us all being here is that Cody was on the independent scene for a while. Cody saw Sammy Guevara, Joey Janela, MJF, and kind of amassed a little bit of a roster in his head before we even got started. And also he touched about Hulk Hogan calling him after his match with Darby Allin. I got a call from Hulk Hogan after our match. He goes, "This is amazing what you guys are doing, brother. You have so many people that people never heard of before. They're main eventing and people are like, hey, I know who they are within 1 week." Speaking of Le Champion, today at his cruise, he did announce that there will be a 3rd annual Chris Jericho cruise next year. You gotta grab those tickets and cabins quick because they go super fast, peeps. WWE. I will have the Royal Rumble card and predictions this Saturday, maybe Friday, so you guys can have that before it does come on Sunday. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, CM Punk has gone on record and predicted who he thinks will win the Rumble on Sunday. Punk actually picked NXT's Keith Lee. He thinks he will take Brock out. That would be amazing. Vince is very high on Lee, but I don't know. I think it's way too soon, but I do like his pick. Keith Lee seen what Punk said, and he tweeted, "Should I ever have the privilege of meeting Mr. Punk, I shall be certain to express my gratitude. The sentiment is most appreciated." We all know competition is good for business. Well, if you ask Vince McMahon, I don't think he would agree, but you know who does agree? His rosters of superstars. Big talk backstage that they are excited that AEW is sticking around, and here's what one source had to say. Guys are making more and they're not afraid to ask for time off like they were before. We know these aren't guaranteed contracts like WCW, but Vince is way more accommodating these days because he wants to keep everyone happy, so that wall has been torn down. Some people are getting offered more monies with better schedules. We have AEW to thank for that, so I would say thank you AEW for being around. Daniel Bryan is still hard at work trying to make our environment a better place to live. You know he stopped selling merch for a while. He did get back into the merchandising game, but this is what he had to say. "So I'm working with a merch team now about it. The next Daniel Bryan shirts are going to be made out of recycled materials. I think 5 plastic water bottles will be used for every shirt. So they'll be made out of plastic water bottles and recycled materials. And that to me is cool. And that's something that's a good guy's thing that's also kind of environmentally friendly." And out of nowhere, Aiden English has gone on record and said he would love to manage the faction of Seth Rollins, Murphy, and the AOP. Also, there are talks backstage that Lance Archer of New Japan Wrestling is in talks with signing with WWE. Last night, WWE superstar Asuka was at a mall in Las Vegas. There was a legit shooter there. I believe 3 people actually got shot. Asuka did manage to escape the scene without injury. Matt Hardy might have gave us some insight on what he's doing with resigning with WWE. After his match Monday night when he lost to Eric Rowan, this is what he tweeted. "Thank you to all your fans for your love and support. Because of you, I am trending at 17 worldwide because of my string of losses. I hope you are enjoying my WWE TV appearances. At this rate, there won't be many more." And finally, for WWE news, Matt Riddle loves to troll wrestling legends and he wants matches against them all. This week, he tweeted a pic of him standing in front of Brock Lesnar's sign backstage and said, "Make sure you watch WWE this week." NWA. This Friday, NWA is having another great pay-per-view. It's called Hard Times. Here's the card and my predictions. They have a bunch of matches for their TV tournament card. We do have Ken Anderson versus Tim Storm. My pick, Anderson. Only because after Tuesday night when he actually turned on his partner in the ring and all that, it looks like they're trying to give him a push as a bad guy. You have Ricky Starks versus Cross. I got to go with my boy Ricky Starks. That kid's a huge talent. He's got youth behind him, and he's got mad talent in that ring. We also have Zicky versus Dan Maff. I picked Dan Maff. Trevor Murdoch versus the question mark. You got to go with the question mark, and I think the question mark is actually going to be the one who wins this tournament. We also have the National Championship match, which is Aaron Stevens versus Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. I got to go with Aaron Stevens. Also, the NWA Tag Team Championships are up for grab. We have the Rock and Roll Express versus James Storm and Eli Drake versus the Wild Cards. I'm going with Storm and Drake. We also have the NWA Women's Championship, which is Allison Kay versus Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is a huge talent and the crowd loves her, but I think Allison Kay is going to retain. And finally, we have the NWA champion, Nick Aldis, in a non-title match versus Flip Gordon. Now, I pick Aldis because I don't think they're going to let him lose the Flip, and then if he's going to beat Marty, you know what I mean, and keep his belt when they do fight. But actually, I'm going to go on record and say Flip Gordon because it's told that Marty Scurll will be there in appearance, so you know he's going to interfere and have Flip win the match because that's his Villain Enterprise bro, and it's not for the title, so Flip Gordon. On to some random wrestling news. In big news, Enzo Amore challenged Tama Tonga from New Japan, and Tama Tonga accepted. These two have been going back and forth online, and it has come to a head. Right now, the plan is for WrestleMania week in Tampa, and the proceeds will go to charity. Now, I don't know if this guy wants to throw us off his trail or not, but I reported a few days ago that Killer Kross had a meeting with Triple H, and he was very close to signing with WWE. Well, Kross took to Twitter and did a poll. He asked the fans where they would like to see him go. He said New Japan, WWE, AEW, or Ring of Honor. If you ask me, I think his best fit would be New Japan or Ring of Honor, but who knows? And finally, director Sean Durkin is directing a film based on the Von Erich family. I cannot wait to see this. That family's tragic story needs to be told. All right, peeps, well, that's it for the show. I will be back in a few days with my Royal Rumble predictions, plus some more wrestling news. Remember to show us love on all major podcasting platforms, Facebook and YouTube, under the AEW Insider, and on Twitter under the AEW Insider 1. Also, show my boys Jabber Jabber Wrestling Universe some love. My boy Two Tooth and his crew are awesome over there. If you like everything WWE, check out Jabber Jabber, Twitter, Facebook, what have you. All right, peace. I'm rambling on. I'll see you in a couple days. Ciao.